Hey, what's up, folks? Happy Saturday. Kamari Ellis here, investment advisor, tax advisor. Answering some questions about Ask Kamari, or answering some of my Ask Kamari questions. I made a promise to be more consistent with this, and that's what I'm going to do. Got a question the other day, and I'm actually a few days late in returning it, but I'm going to do it. I just want to take some time out of my Saturday. It's been a crazy week. Nobody can deny that. I'm pretty sure everybody's timeline is flooded with all kinds of comments and concerns about all the police brutality that's going on across the nation. And I purposely didn't want to do a video because I wanted to gather my thoughts before I even responded. And I'm going to respond, but I'm not going to do it now. I want to answer my Ask Kamari question, but I will be doing it in the next couple of days. And of course, you know it's going to be economic, financially related, because at the end of the day, most things, just about everything, comes back to the money. They all come back to the money. But my question came from Shannon. So Shannon sent me a question. I had to get some help for this question, but I'll read the question to you. It says, "Hey, Kamari, hope all is well, my brother. I have a debt question for you. About a week ago, I started receiving letters from local lawyers stating that a creditor had filed a suit against me and they were offering their services to fight it. I thought this was strange because I've never seen this before. I got another letter yesterday, and this one was a little different, as it stated the creditor was seeking eviction, which really didn't make sense. I pulled my credit score, and the debt was about 7 to 8 years old from an old credit card for about $1,300. So I had to get Tara Colquitt to help me with this because my expertise is not credit or debt. But anytime people start digging up old letters or just start sending you letters, don't panic, because there's another Ask Kamari I'm going to do about IRS scams, and there's a lot of IRS scams coming around with people getting letters or phone calls around also. But I know it happens a lot with credit as well. There's a lot of scams going on when it comes to credit. So be sure, don't get nervous, don't jump the gun when you get a letter from anybody. Take your time and do your due diligence. Now, this is Tara Colquitt's response. This seems to be happening more and more frequently, that zombie debt. Now, zombie debt, I had to get Tara to break that down to me. Zombie debt is debt that's usually 10 years or older that just kind of resurfaces. That zombie debt is rearing its ugly head. First, check your credit reports using annualcreditreport.com. Is it showing there? Is it a consumer debt or something else? Second, contact the debtor personally. So contact them directly. Assuming it is your debt, you need all the facts of the case. Has a judgment occurred already? Were you notified properly? Can you settle it on your own? Third question is, if you feel the debt is unfair and depending on the amount and your ability to repay, you may need representation. Know all your options before you retain anyone. In particular, are they successful in resolving your debt? So she's asking, whoever you get to represent you, are they successful in resolving these type of problems? Tara goes on to say, tax, student loans, and child support are outside the scope of her services. She says, I hope this has been helpful. Tara Colquitt, the Credit Woman. You can find Tara at thecreditwoman.com. I see Darren. What's up, Darren? What's up, Taj? What's up, Jamar? You can find her. If you guys, I would actually suggest you guys get in contact with Tara. Me and Tara have been friends for many, many years. She is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to credit. She's helped many people when it comes to credit. She's actually had a multi-million-dollar real estate company that passed through, so she knows her stuff. All right, but again, that was my response back to Shannon, who asked me that question the other day. I've got some other Ask Kamaris I got to do. Walter, I know if you watch this, I just saw that you listed a question up there. What's up, Kamal? How you doing? I know you listed a question up there, Walter. I'll get to that tomorrow. My promise is my word. I got to do it. You know, I don't like doing video, but I see it's very effective, so I continue to do it. Jamar, just shout out to Jamar and shout out to Darren as well. They have great podcasts. Jamar's is Get Your Money Right. Darren's is the Miles Money Weekly, or Miles Weekly Report, rather. Actually, Darren had me on a week and a half ago talking about Brexit. Had a pretty good time. It went a little long, I think, for I was running my jibs, running my mouth a little bit too much, but we had a good time either way. Shelby stated we just opened a Wells Fargo business account in Atlanta last week. Do you think I should open it up at a black-owned bank since we are so brand new and should build with black-owned businesses? Oh, man, y'all trying to get me to talk about my response to what's going on. Shelby, you should absolutely open up a business account with a black-owned bank. I will say this, though. A lot of black-owned banks don't have a national footprint, so I would open up a bank account with them, but I would also seek to build a relationship with them. But I would also have a banking relationship with a national branch as well. So, that's kind of a twofold. Wells Fargo has a national footprint. They're good money on a lot of things. I've had some problems with them in the past, but it seems like they've kind of turned the corner. I'm not getting paid for Wells Fargo, so I'm not going to give them a commercial, but I do some banking with them. I've done some business banking with them on the political side of things when I used to run the treasury for political campaigns. So I think I've had some good experiences with some of the tellers as well. So, but that's relationship. But going back to it, yes, you should absolutely have an account with a black-owned bank. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I have more to say, but I'm going to hold off, again, because I'm still gathering my thoughts. Any other questions for me? Any other folks out there? Yeah, Jamar posted it. annualcreditreport.com. Tara also mentioned that as well. But again, anytime you get any kind of letter, make sure you reach out to the folks. Make them actually prove that it's your debt. And what happens is, just so folks know, what happens is you get people that buy debt, pennies on a dollar, literally. For example, I had a debt with T-Mobile. They're saying I had a matter of fact, I'm still fighting this now. They said I had an account, I had an outstanding balance. So some credit collection agency brought my debt. Well, I usually don't deal with them. I go directly back to the source. So I haven't done it yet with T-Mobile, but I'm going to go back to T-Mobile. But usually the credit agency will buy the debt. Let's say I owed, I don't know, $200. They might have brought my account from T-Mobile for $30 to $60. That industry actually can be a very lucrative industry if you get into it with the right mindset. So you figure if you collect, and that's why they're able to give you these discounts. So if they brought my account from $30 to $60, and they usually buy them in bundles, but if they were able to buy my account for $30 to $60, and they turn around and they get me to do some kind of settlement. Let's say I owe $200, and they get me to settle for $150. That's a nice percentage gain. And basically, that is the credit collection agency game right there in a nutshell. That's what they do all day, every day. They buy credit accounts from folks, and there's plenty of credit accounts around this country. In this country. I'm sorry, folks. There's plenty of accounts in this country because people buy most of their stuff on credit. Most people have what I call the spender's disease. They like to spend money. They're addicted to spending money, and so a lot of times they'll leverage credit and buy it. So that industry isn't going out of business anytime soon. And so they'll be able to do this. And they do pull a lot of shenanigans. Someone will try to call and cuss you out. I'm going to tell you my take on it. It might not be the right take, as Tara Colquitt on this. But my take is, one, a lot of times they'll call with these robocallers. Anybody that calls me electronically doesn't really want to talk to me, so I hang up on them immediately. Won't even bother to call. And then two is, my take is, I'm not afraid of you. You can come knock on my door if you that tough. And I know you're not, because you're calling from a credit agency. It's your job. And so anytime they try to talk slick to me, I hang up on them too. What are they going to do to me? They can't do anything to you either. So overall point is, you don't have to be abused. because a lot of times these folks do abuse folks and they don't take into account. I don't believe that your credit score is a measure of your character. A lot of jobs do. A lot of credit agencies do. I don't believe that. People run into hard times and they have problems. And sometimes they're really making a decision between putting food on the table for their children and their spouse or paying this outstanding bill. Now, I believe in paying off all your debts as much as possible, but, again, it's a priority a lot of times with a lot of people when people are caught in these hard situations. So, again, you have leverage over folks, and then, again, ultimately what you can do is tell them, don't call you anymore. They don't have to. You can tell them, do not call me. Put me on a do not call list and do not call me anymore. And if they call you again, you can look to have a fine levied against them. I don't know the process of it. You got to do some due diligence and research on that. But I do know you can request to have them not call you anymore. So again, you have the power. And these jerkies, I like to call them jerkies, like to play tough with you a lot of times on the phone. You don't have to fall for that. Don't be moved by them. They really don't have any power over you. Now, sure, your credit report is probably going to be dinged, but guess what? If it's already at the point where it's at a credit agency, your credit's already been dinged. So again, I'm not advocating for being irresponsible. What I am advocating for is not being abused by some asshole who's calling you on the phone trying to get you to pay a debt that you might not necessarily have the money to pay at that given point in time in your life. All right, so every day I'm going to work on doing these Ask Amari questions and responses. I'm a couple of days behind, but I've been consistent. I'm keeping it up. Be sure to like, share, and comment on this as well. Like, share, and comment. People tell me I don't brag enough. I don't talk myself up enough because anybody that knows me is pretty laid back. So like, share, and comment. And also, I have a new podcast coming out very, very soon called Finance Rebels. Look out for that. That's the one I'll be pestering all you guys about to help me promote and share. The idea that shows I want to look to get 1 million people become DIY investors and DIY masters of their finance. When I say DIY, do it yourself. A lot of times people get swindled, they get made off by these so-called advisors, but they're really salespeople, and there's no diss to real, honest, legit sales folks. But if you do have an advisor, I want you to be able to master that relationship. All right, so it's called Finance Rebels because you have to be able to have a rebel mindset to not necessarily go along with everything that's going along with the so-called status quo. All right, nothing wrong with advisors, but again, you want to be able to maximize your work with the advisor and get the best out of them, not just necessarily get them to sell you some product or service and making some transaction. Just remember that people, the wealthy, the very, very 1%, a lot of times poor folks like to demonize the rich. But you got to think about it. They think differently about things. And that's not exclusive to them. They don't have a monopoly on that. So increase your mindset, increase your value, increase your logic. Yes, you can increase your logic about looking at things. And you too can be part of the 1% or the 10% or increase your standard of living. But again, it doesn't necessarily surround an advisor relationship. Warren Buffett probably has an advisor, but Warren's probably peppering his advisor with all kinds of questions. And yeah, Warren dedicates his life to the markets, but markets aren't that hard. Finance isn't that hard. We just got to talk about it some more, that's all. Just like everybody will talk about a car, or everybody will talk about some jewelry or a nice watch that they have. We just got to dedicate a little bit of time to it. So again, I'm looking to empower 1 million people to take over their finances. I got to find a word though, right? So for help 1 million people be DIY investors doesn't really encompass everything I'm really going after. Yo, what's up, Sean? How you doing, sir? Jamar says, release the beast. Yes, sir. That's what I'm working to do. Sean says he'll help me promote my podcast. Hey, bro, I appreciate that. I really, really do. But getting back to my point, when you really are empowered to do some things, you can make some money. There's money all around us, literally, and figuratively. So I'm speaking figuratively right now, but there's ideas going on every single day. When you sit and watch TV, think how you can leverage something you see making money. If you see a commercial, think about how you could take maybe the basic concept of the commercial and apply it to your business. That's what I'm starting to do right now. Looking at other commercials and seeing how I can apply those commercials, not verbatim, but some of the concepts. How would they apply to my business? How would they apply to me bringing in, new investment accounts or bringing in, I do CFO services as well, where I basically run the back office of a business for small businesses, managing their finances and making sure their taxes are paid, making sure their payroll is set up. So how do I do that and advertise it in a way that's mine, right? Because I do believe you have to do business in your way. So I had to do it in the Kamari way. But, whatever your way is, just like McDonald's always does, the Monopoly contest or rapping or singing the McDonald's menu. All those are brilliant ideas. What are some of the ways you can apply some of those things to you? We're all getting inundated with ads, and I'm looking at, I'm talking to the people on this stream with me right now. Most of you guys are business owners or soon to be business owners. So we're getting inundated with ads all the time. Create a swipe file. A swipe file is basically when you have you see an ad that you really like, you think is useful, copy it. I copy and paste stuff all day long into my pictures folder or put it in Evernote. It's very, very easy, especially with Evernote these days. But Evernote's actually starting to change. Evernote is an app I use on my iPhone, but you could also use it on Android. But pay attention to some of those ads. They're very catchy. And the ads you see over and over again, those are the ads that are working. Those are the ads that are making money for the people that are running them. So, I don't know if you want to use advertisements in your business or not. But again, you may not want to run an ad, but you can create wording. We are in the age of social media. So you can take some of those ads and rework them and put them on Instagram. Or take some of those ads, rework them for you and your business, your product, your service, and put them on Facebook. And this is a post, and you could possibly get business from that as well. So we just had to be creative. But I've been on here running my mouth a bit too much. I got to go on and feed the kids. What's up, Gerald? How you doing? I ain't seen you in forever, bro. I hope all is well. But I'm about to go and make my kids some dinner. Now, if anybody saw my timeline, I'm going to say this last thing. If anybody saw my timeline these recent couple of weeks, I went fishing. I brought some fish. It was porgies, a whole bunch of them. Fried up some this afternoon. My kids don't want to eat the porgies because they got bones in them. Ain't that something? I'm sitting there laughing at them. I'm like, I done raised some I don't even know what the word is at this point. I'm at a loss for words, but they don't want to eat the fish because there's no bones in them. But my point in saying all that is the fish is delicious. I made a great batch this morning. And sometimes you got to go through and pick through the bones and find the meat and get the good meat. So I always remember, they spoiled, man. But I always remember that, it's always good to eat the meat and spit out the bones. My mom used to say, eat the chicken and spit out the bones. And what essentially that it means is anybody, even myself, any of these pundits, any people out there is going to be good and bad. Eat the chicken, spit out the bones. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. So take what's good. There's always good and bad in the situation. So take what's good and leave all the nonsense behind. But all right, I'll see y'all later. Have a great night.